goes.
Guys, my computer overheated. So sorry, but we're back. Hello. Sorry. Last thing I heard is I heard the runic bellow, and you didn't tell me how much damage.
So I rolled max damage. It was 14.
14.
But he needs to do a DC 10 agility.
Okay.
Which I don't think he can fail, but
you watch him. That is exactly a 14.
Yeah, he passed. That's fine. So nothing happens.
Okay. Yeah, he takes damage. A head blows off in the process. Of that.
Just shouted a head off.
Yeah, it just explodes. All right. Well, that brings us to King. Oh, Yuki. You're in combat. So what are you doing?
Yeah. She's going to attempt to disengage with a support action.
Okay. Go ahead.
So
your reflex support action to disengage.
That is a nat 16 plus. What is this?
Contested.
Dexterity?
Dexterity. Mm-hmm.
So that's an 18 total.
That is going to be a 18. What is your agility score?
Roll bad. Real bad. Agility scores a 6 total.
Okay, so he's got it. So he did not disengage.
Can I continue to play a song since
Not
I'm engaged in combat?
Not if you're engaged in combat.
Okay. Well, I'm going to then attempt to disengage again.
It's pretty brave to be doing that.
That's going to be a 14.
I got a 16.
You successfully
I did it!
Let's go!
Oh my gosh. Well, so she's gonna re-engage. Sad day, but it's fine.
Before you re-engage, do you want to play your song or spend your support?
I can't. I used both my support actions for that. So
Okay.
sad day.
All right.
Yep.
Song drops.
Song drops, and that's all she could do. So.
Sweet. Which brings us to King Farron. He's gonna throw to. I guess he only has one dagger to throw, so he's gonna do that. And he hits for a 14, which is going to deal near maximum damage. That's gonna be a total of an 11. So he just boom right into the neck of the beast, and he's going to use his action to engage. Which brings us to the attack round, and so we're going to go ahead and start off with the Hydra. The Hydra is looking desperate. He's looking very hurt. He's going to use essentially his basically frost spear push attack. So it has like basically this like horn on the top of his head. He's gonna ram. He can hit everybody in a 20-foot straight line. So he's gonna aim here, 5, 10, 15, 20. All three of you guys are going to make a fortitude survival check.
So not me?
Not you.
Let's go!
20. 21.
Oof.
Guys,
way to go.
Thornton, how bad are you
Very
right now,
fortitude.
HP wise? Thornton, what's your HP at?
What about you, Luxalia?
31.
31? Okay.
Luxalia.
What is it? just rip the band-aid off.
You're muted.
It all makes sense now. 8.
Luxalia did not pass, and so
What?
Yeah. Luxalia, you get moved back 5, 10, 15 feet. You two stay put.
Nice.
But Luxalia, you receive -1 d6. Can you roll the d6 for me?
Yeah. 4.
You receive 22 points of cutting damage and 20 points of frost damage.
Oh my god.
Holy
Halved, that would be 11 points of cutting damage to Yuki and Thordane. But Yuki is immune to the frost damage, and Thordane receives 10 frost damage.
Does that count as a weapon attack?
What?
The
What
ram.
he just did? Yeah.
I'm gonna use my rune guard, and I'm gonna take Ikari's or Thordane's damage.
Okay. So that's
Is it halved again?
It's halved again.
Great. So I
it's
take
quartered.
11 damage.
So that was 11, so you'll be taking 5 points of cutting damage and 5 points of frost damage. So 10 damage total.
Thordane's just gonna give Zilla a pat on the back as it
As he does.
Thank you.
That was a good one. That's why.
Oh
Thornade
wait, that
was
uses
so-
my mana. It doesn't use my rune.
But that's all he can do. So Thordane has already done his thing. Belbin, it is your turn.
Get him.
Oh, great. Cool. So Belbin is going to... Here's a question. Can I use both my Mage Slayer and Leg Sweep in the same... for the same action?
You can.
Great. I will be doing that then.
Essentially, the way that works is the Mage Slayer is your reflex support action for the turn, and it uses additional point of stamina. And the Leg Sweep is part of your weapon attack. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's just the same attack,
Okay.
just with Mage Slayer on it. So you can roll
Perfect.
with Hope, and then I will make a.
Oh my gosh. You gotta be kidding me.
Focus. What's a focus skill? I have to do focus skill check.
Oh yeah. So how many damage total did you receive?
42.
So that is going to be 8 plus 2, 4, 6, 16. DC 16. Focus skill check.
You got this, Luxalia.
Luxaria, how are you doing?
I've been better. Yeah, the thing is gone.
That works out, by the way. That actually works out, so.
Could I use rune guard twice in the same turn?
What kind of action is it? Reflex support?
Yeah, but I have 2.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take the damage, Luxalia?
It's fine.
Okay.
I'm at
Alright.
29.
Good to know for
hit
future
points.
reference that I can do that twice, but...
Yeah.
All right.
Belbin, what was your hit roll?
9.
9. That does not
Rolled a
hit.
2 and a 4. Yep. All right. So I'll do my Mage Slayer again, just on a normal
So you
hit.
only have 1 reflex support action to be able to use per turn. So you can use you have 2 more normal attacks essentially.
Okay. 2 more normal attacks is fine. So then this one will be 15.
15 will hit.
Alrighty. That'll be 15 points of impact. And then the darkness is no longer negated, right?
Yes.
Is that what
Yep,
you were
that's
saying,
correct.
Luxalia? Okay. Then 2 more of darkness.
I'm gonna have you make a strength survival check for me.
Strength. I'm feeling pretty strong. That will be 16, but not natural.
How do you want to kill him?
Oh!
Essentially, you brought him down to 0 hit points. You had to pass a DC 14 strength survival check in order to rip his last head off and kill him. So, how do you want to kill him?
I want to rip off the head and then like go in one of the throats and take him out from the inside.
Nice.
Rip out all the guts and then.
Just go
Yeah.
feral on it. Just and as it does so, with each basically chunk that you rip away, it just disappears into kind of like this blue, like manic mist. And eventually, as you do so, everything disappears. And what's left is nothing. There is no trace of any bodies except for these 2 bodies that flop to the ground and still remain. And that is going to end combat.
Oh my goodness. We
And with
survived.
I'm gonna have you...
Drink
Yeah, go ahead.
a potion.
With that, I'm gonna have all of you make focus skill checks for me.
7.
11.
Zil did something right. 18.
5.
And Ikari, I can't hear you. Can't
Still
hear you.
nothing.
You can type in the chat if you want to tell us what you got. Nope, nothing.
Do you want to hold up fingers?
19.
Okay, sweet. That's a lot of fingers to hold up. All right, Thordane and Zil, the two of you notice that the frost wall on the far end of the cavern has begun to melt.
Is water coming in?
The water that was part of this ice has begun to flood. It takes about 10 minutes for it to completely melt, per se, but it covers the entirety of the room in about 6 inches of water, standing water on the floor. But you see, and immediately you see the release of Princess Mila, and that is where we're going to end our session for tonight.
Yo,
Woo,
let's
woo!
go.
Yeah.
Freaking Hydra.
Freaking doing your things. Okay, my question to all of you, how does it feel? Do these changes feel okay so far?
Yeah. They're good. I think some of them I would just be interested to see, because like there was one of them that is like a normal support action,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like might make more sense as a reflex support action.
Which one?
So I mean, like just like certain. Let me see.
Again,
It's
these
one
are
of the regular arts.
Mhm.
Which one is it? Oh, the Mana Rising.
Okay.
Because basically it's like as a support action, the caster may attempt to basically get someone who is prone standing. But
Yeah,
as a
so
support action,
Mm-hmm.
I can only use that on
Someone who's already
my
prone.
support turn,
Yeah, on
movement
your
turn.
turn in combat. Yeah, that's a good thought.
Which most of the time someone goes prone is going to happen on the attack phase or like often after that point.
That's a good thought. Yeah, for sure.
So
These are really nice things to be able to think about. If there's that page of edits that you can possibly send to me, that'd be awesome, and I can take a look at them.
And again, that's just a suggestion, not like a.
No, that makes sense for sure. What level art is that? Because that could have gone
1.
into 1. Okay, that's probably what it is more than anything. It's just like
Sure.
it's something nice to have, but it's not like a super duper powerful.
Right.
I could probably make another art kind of version of that as a reflex support action to make it a little bit more powerful, like as like a level 2 or level 3 art. But
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Just because, like, I just feel like taking it, I don't know. Like, it's just very niche when I'd be able to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm super low in.
The priority. Yep.
Yeah, because everyone stands up at the beginning, like, at the beginning of the combat, or the end of the combat round anyway. So, yeah. But anyway. Yeah. But it feels good.
Yeah, let's go one by one to see kind of like your guys' thoughts on just the session, but also your guys' thoughts on just in general how your new class plays from what you were able to see. Zil, we'll start with you.
Session. So yeah, there's definitely some really cool stuff. I am a big fan of definitely Yen Rue. That one's cool.
Yeah.
And it's nice because it's like it's a 24-hour thing.
Mm-hmm. You use it once and
so,
you don't have to keep reactivating it.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for like first combat of the next dungeon, just using that just for the whole dungeon. I'm looking forward to that. The one I didn't use for all those for the party members, I can also add 15 feet of movement for 1d4 rounds. That's the 4th word I never used. So definitely just a lot to get him into position. I mean, I can get DV, I can take damage. So overall, I'm liking a lot of the changes. What I am noticing, I need more initiative. Because especially the new challenge action, like, it requires so much.
Well, it's also tough, too, when it's literally there's just one enemy. And that you're fighting, like one big boss. And
so
definitely the challenge is very much meant for like bigger combats with more creatures involved.
But I am definitely pondering like taking my one stealth away that's not helping me that much anyway because I have a -2 from my armor, and just giving that to my dex. Like just that one extra initiative. Because, like, really, the earlier Zill goes, the better he is. He's still good no matter what.
Wait. Like, rearranging, like, your base stats?
The Dex Stealth.
Dex Stealth, okay.
Yeah, so the skills.
Stealth is pretty good, too, though.
I'm already terrible at it. I've got a -1 no matter what.
You're sounding like Belbin trying to min-max his...
Largely, I'm well spread out, except for my roleplay decision that Zill is not charismatic at all.
He's influential, is what he is.
But that was long before I knew that influence would be used. Though. It was just like, Zill's not charismatic. He's not going to be it. So that was just a thought that came up. But the new traits are fun. I'm also wondering, I'm like, okay, all these runes have to be somewhere, so where are they?
Lots of things to wonder and think about, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide, like, what makes sense on how I got them, on what they do.
I can't wait till the one on your left butt cheek glows.
There's not going to be one on my left butt cheek.
Just a tramp.
Part of me wants to put them where I already, like, have tattoos. I only have 2, but, so that's kind of funny.
Your first
so, yeah, just a lot to think about, which is really cool. But for the session itself, I mean, I was just trying to focus on, like, okay, how can I use my new stuff? So I got to make sure to not be challenged so I can put that on my axe and then run in, trying to stay close to people, which I've always had kind of it used to be called cover, but just trying to stay close to people to take their damage, which really helped Ordain out. So that was nice.
And Luxalia. Wow, it could have helped Luxalia.
It could have. I decided not to.
Yeah.
But just, trying to stay in the fray. Trying to take focus, even though there wasn't a real good way I could do that directly. But
well, this was one of those weird fights too, where it's kind of a small arena where he was like trapped in a corner, and so it's just kind of like pushing in and pushing back, pushing in, pushing back.
Yeah.
Big boss creature like that has the ability to do that. Definitely the most movement that happened was for sure the supports. So Luxalia was running all over the place, and then also Thordain too, moving and positioning himself to make himself effective. But yeah, all of the like DPS, like, or the melee attackers were just being pushed back, running in, doing their thing. So
yeah, so that's kind of.
I was trying to stay close to Zill, just in case.
I'll talk as much as you let me, so I'll cut it there.
Perfect. Cole, Luxalia, you can, and feel free to leave after you've given your 2 cents, since I know it's late.
I probably will. Yeah, a lot of fun. I like a lot of the new changes. Just, trying to read through all the different options. I kind of skimmed through most of them.
Well, now between now and our next session, which our next session is, I believe, let me double check, not the 9th, I'm going to be in Hokkaido, probably the 16th then.
Okay.
16th of February will probably be our next session for Everlast. And then, when we get to that point, and so Ikari for us, that'd be the 17th. yeah, between now and then, make sure you read through if you are still curious about like things like arts and stuff that you want to take from your open arts list or mana sworn arts list. Do that. Have questions. Right now is going to be your flexible time. Once next session, things are going to be stuck and set from the things that we've chosen. So that gives you 2 weeks to be able, or 3 weeks, I guess, to be able to figure things out.
One thing to call out as well, so we actually have the videos for all of the character classes. I don't know if anyone had the opportunity to watch all of them, but we made them on purpose so that everyone can sit down and watch through them, so that everyone has a basic understanding.
It doesn't
of
help so
each
much
other's
with the
classes.
arts, but for your actual characters, it should help.
Yeah. No, it was helpful for sure.
Cool.
So thank you for doing that, putting in the time. But yeah, other than that, it's just gonna be like deciding my arts, because that's Luxalia's thing. That she
I'm
does.
excited
So,
to see those.
How
yeah,
did
it's
How
exciting.
did it feel being supercharged with having everything available for the last days? You could just,
Oh,
like,
it was
throw
nice.
everything out.
I think people would have died if that wasn't a thing.
This was a supercharged boss, by the way. So I tried to make it as difficult as possible. This thing is nowhere near this volatile. It doesn't start with 10 heads to begin with, normally speaking. So.
Well, because like I think I had like 2 or 3 mana mendings left total. Like by the time we started this thing, and like I was out of Pillar of Light. So yeah, if we weren't supercharged, I don't know. I'm excited about the Pillar of Light change. That's sick.
And every Mana Sworn has access to that, because that's a Mana Sworn arts list thing.
Yeah.
So that's something that like anybody could potentially have, but the nice thing is it's kind of like extra healing for a light sword as well, with still making you kind of powerful. So
yeah,
tacky,
so
kind of.
Yeah, just trying to get a feel on the rest of the arts. Again, I thought I would use the Force of Will more, and maybe it just because of it being one big boss rather than multiple enemies. Slash like action economy. I just need to not waste
just figuring out
all
how
my
to use
things.
save things for certain situations, especially like support actions. I know it's so tempting to be like, I want to use all of my support actions and utilize the action economy, but especially if you have certain things in mind, it's like, I have this just in my pocket. Like when I was playing Throlaka last time we had, and he had like his dispels, like basically made it so you like canceling out effects. Like he was just holding things in his pocket just in case, because he saw what Luxalia was capable of doing. He's like, I don't like that. Bah. And so just like based on like where you are in the priority initiative, and that's why it changes every round. So like at the combat, you're not locked into like the spot that you are. It gives you ample opportunity to be able to be like, okay, this turn I could take advantage of this combat round I could take advantage of this. So that's why how that works the way it does.
So I think but it was a good sesh. It was fun. Glad no one died. I was a little afraid. Thordane was about to go down.
I think Thordane got down to 11.
And
Belbin got down to 20-something, right?
24, I think, yeah.
I got down to 29 that last hit.
King Farian at one point was at 28 out of 124. So,
So, good times. Glad no one died. So, that's it.
Sweet. Thanks. Appreciate your time. Thanks for being here. Good night. Sleep well.
See you guys. Make choices.
See you, Cole.
And that's one thing too that everybody you'll notice, especially like those who have arts, they can be pretty darn strong, but they usually last for the course of like an adventure. So in a combat like this, you're not going to be having just like literally just everything being unloaded on healing. It might seem crazy strong, but usually in a typical combat you might see like 1 Pillar of Light, maybe 2 mana mendings be used, but Luxalia really has to be careful with like her action for that. So this is just one of those rare occasions where it's like, I have everything, let me do it. Which is my playstyle in Baldur's Gate. A boss is coming out, and I saw in Baldur's Gate where I fought this dragon underneath this place, and I was like, I didn't know there was going to be a fight here, and then there was a fight, and I got wiped, so that's fun. So that's just kind of what's going on, but that's a video game, so that's neither here nor there. Anyways, Dane, your thoughts?
It was really good. I mean, I got to sit down with you plenty of time to go over it. I think the big thing for Yuki, I mean, her changes to her dances are cool. I wasn't able to actually. It decentivized me once Luxali used that one skill because my wind damage specific dance that I have does earth damage, and that's negated by it too. So I couldn't do it specifically. So I stepped away from that, kept the defense one. The defense was really nice, and honestly, I'll tell you, the cutting damage more so than anything is awesome.
Yeah, it's
so basically
the most common damage type.
Yeah, my Tundra Frostblade gives me basically damage reduction, which is kind of nice. So I don't get any like benefits to like attack, but it makes me a little bit thicker, and so that actually helps me a little bit. But also it's nice having 3 attacks. It's really nice having 3 attacks. Although we had 2 rounds of combat, or 3 technically, but 2 attacking rounds of combat, and I was blowing through my stamina, so I have to be careful with that.
Which is the power of when Belbin eventually gets to level 10 and unlocks his ability, where if he lands an attack, it doesn't cost stamina. So
no stamina.
Oh
baby.
my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah. But the thing I'm going to have to learn a little bit better is the reflex support actions, because the cool thing at level 6 I unlocked with my Blade Dancer, the ability, once I have a Blade Dance going, I get an extra support action to use per turn. And so I try to use that one as the reflex support action that I get, and just deciding when to use them. I was holding out for them for like when I was missing rolls, so I could use this reflex support action to like do Mage Slayer or some of the other ones.
You're the physical DPS mana, combat maneuvers, like it's a very much like it covers a broad basis of things, and it's kind of like I've judged like this monster, like the chances of like me missing because you got a high AC, maybe armor breaker is going to be good for that. Oh, this thing casts arts, maybe this. And so there's a bunch of different situations between the 4 maneuvers that are useful. But of course, if you've already used your reflex support action, you can't do it, but you're still very attacky too. It makes up for it because you have one additional attack action than anybody else at this point, even elemental attackers. So you just have
for sure. I feel like, especially not Yuki as much, but maybe for like Belbin or some of these other people that don't have quite as big of a hit modifier as I do, Armor Breaker is really nice because you just use a reflex support action, you just get an attack again, re-roll that, and you have the potential to decrease their armor value, which is kind of nice. But yeah, for me, it's like really just trying to get better at like which support action, reflex support actions to use. I need to get better at that, and then once I get some of my songs going, that'll come into effect too. But I really like the character. I mean, she didn't change a whole ton. I mean, she's a physical DPS, but I like the changes that did happen. This was a really fun boss. I don't know. It's
one thing I will note. I know, Max, you were talking about like the whole dexterity thing. Stay next to Thordane, because Thordane could give you +2 to your priority initiative every turn potentially by being within 10 feet of him. At the top of the combat round, if he decides to spend a stamina to do that. So
good to know.
So there you go.
So, but yeah, I mean, just overall, really enjoyed it. It was a really fun battle. I mean, it was I felt like I was learning my character again. But that's great, and I think this was a really good battle to do that in. So
for sure,
it was good. Yeah. Lots of questions, but they were good questions.
Belbin, your thoughts?
Yes. No, I like these changes. It's fun to have more things to do than just necessarily hit. The hard thing about this one, though, is that a lot of my stuff... Well, I should say first, the biggest thing I think I'm most excited about is having a higher defense value, because then countering will become a bigger thing. There's just a whole lot of other things kind of open up with that. But this boss wasn't, I think, the best boss to display most of the new stuff. Like,
no, not the big.
The combat maneuvers will be cool, right? And so I think like the leg sweep I tried, but that guy was strong, and I was missing a lot because I have a lower
+6
hit right now.
+6 to his modifier, so he was fast for a big guy. So tough.
Right, and there are some other things that I think will be really cool. I just don't think this was necessarily the right boss to try him out on. I think more just when we have normal characters that are not as strong, I'll hit harder. I'll do some more kind of creative things now, I think, which would be cool. And then also I've never really had to worry about support actions, but now it's like, wow, I have to keep one reflex support action just in case I want to use it, or now that's kind of becoming a new thing too. So that's kind of a fun thing in the back of my head to kind of keep track of is
it becomes less
do I want to use it?
More strategy.
Yes, and there's there's more strategic things to my turns, I feel like now.
And speaking of which, talk about the guy who killed the Hydra. So you at least landed the critical deathly blow on him. Everybody I think contributed very well as far as damage to it. So that's good. Yeah, and I was just kind of fishing for a critical, because when I get a critical, it'll be kind of crazy. And we'll save that for another time. One thing too that I will notice as well is, especially because he kind of had like conal effect abilities, the fact that you were staying like far off to the flank actually like really shielded you. I mean, granted, if everybody was going to like certain flanks, basically he was aiming his attacks at where the most people were within range. And so if everybody was going to one side, it didn't matter. It just, you happened to luck out by being the only one on that side, kind of like how King Farron was like on the other side, and it like wasn't as big of a deal. So like everybody in the middle was just getting bombarded. Right. But, and if it wasn't for Luxalia too, I would have totally been dead like 2 times over. For sure. So that was good too. For sure. Cool. I appreciate that. And last but not least, Thordain, your thoughts on tonight's session and everything going forward here.
No, I can't hear. I forgot about that.
Is it a Vorpal board thing? Is it at the top? Are you muted in Vorpal board? No. 1 second. Check. There's a kind of like a hamburger menu, like the 3 lines. If you click on that, it'll bring down audio inputs. Maybe you can check to see if your headset is connected, because it might be trying to pick up another audio source.
Did that fix it?
Yes. It did. Hey, nice.
Yeah, if you ever can't be heard, that's probably what it is. It disconnects you.
All right. I'm not sure why it did that. Anyway, this was cool. I felt, I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything, and it has been, I think it's 3 sessions I missed, is it? Or just 2?
I think 3.
I don't remember. Yeah, life. Great to be back in the session, though. I've so been looking forward to this. The arts were super cool. I had finalized the arts that I was going to do, and then Heavenly Light happened, and I'm like, well, that...
Maybe Luxalia should just get rid of that.
I chose was like, I won't use that anymore.
Cool. But like it's a double-edged short sword, but it's really helpful to people who have like light damage, flame damage. But maybe it's a good like thing to think about. It's like, maybe I can start picking arts that like I can use while that is like up, like something that does fire damage, or like something that does light damage, and then when it's not up, my other stuff.
I didn't consider that, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's all right.
The nice thing is that nothing is set until next session, so you've got plenty of time.
Yeah, no, I need to contact you at some point between those 2 sessions, because I have a document to send you. Thordain's backstory, his despair, and despair, and I got it written down here.
Hope.
Motivation and despair. That's it.
Perfect.
Yeah. So all that I have to send you things that I'm thinking about with him. So there's a lot to go through.
Sweet. Look forward to it.
But yeah, it was cool. The traps were awesome. The new abilities were cool.
The snare trap.
Yeah.
That's the sleeper. Just being able to just like restrain things with like a super difficult check, and then you can just like essentially what happens is something that gets snared, their movement becomes 0 because they're considered prone and restrained. And so like normal like creatures that get restrained by it, you can just surround it and just go crazy because it can't do anything. I mean, it can attack you back with like despair, but this thing was dead, so it wasn't doing anything. You just trapped it, and it was just like, well, you just. Yeah, you restrained it to the point. And then Belbin and his chucking of the other one, just crazy. But no, that's cool. I'm so happy to see those traps, because when I was writing them, I was like, these are cool. These are really neat. But it requires a lot of strategy to be able to use them. So, yeah. And you can pick them up and reset them and like things like that. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, potential for future pinata attacks.
True, and the fact that
From
you
the
also
group.
used your herbalist kit to be able to do some healing as well. Pretty good healing, good rolls. The 6s for like a D12 or something was pretty good too. So
Yeah, that was a fortunate roll.
very fortunate. And the
I'm
nice
gonna
thing
get-
is,
yeah.
it doesn't seem as much as Luxalia's, but Luxalia's literally her whole purpose is healing. So like she doesn't have a whole ton outside of that. So.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of use for some of your other stuff too. And one thing I want you to think of too in your main class description as well is thinking about terrains and creatures that like are your kind of like targeted. Because this creature here, the Hydra, he was considered a monster. And so if you had like a monster as part of your marked quarry trait, you would get a +3 bonus to damage on it. This one is considered C as far as terrains go. C is probably a good one for now, but probably outside of this adventure, it's not going to be super duper useful. But for this adventure, it's very, very useful. Yeah, so definitely think about those, because then you get plus bonuses to hit, so +2 to hit when you're in your specialized environment. So things to think about as well, that kind of like some passives on Thordane that you can just have and make sure you remember. That's the biggest thing, is remembering that you have certain things. But these are all brand new, so I understand that we're all in a place of what can I do? So yeah, no worries. But it's cool. It's cool to see the damage output, the traps being used. Yeah, it was neat seeing Thordane kind of in action. His very, very new Thordane. I think Thordane changed the most out of anyone from his last kind of stats.
Which suits me pretty well, I think.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Anything else that anybody wants to throw in before Dane? You want to go over some announcements and stuff for the upcoming week? You good?
Buy anything else first?
No, nothing for me.
Good.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, this is our last session of this month, so we'll be back in Wincast 16th, 17th your time.
The 16th for our people on the west side of the world. Here on the east, it's going to be the morning on the 17th.
Cool.
Okay,
And so we'll be back then with Everlast. In the meantime, we have weekly Adventures in Middle-earth, which is our Lord of the Rings themed Dungeons and Dragons campaign. It is splitting into 2 separate campaigns. We are still going to have it every single week, but the times are going to differ between, if that makes sense. We have like an eastern side of the world group and like a western side of the world group that we're going to be working with, and that way we still have that every week, but it's 2 separate parties, which is pretty sweet.
And it'll be like every week, but every other week for the 2 parties. And so that'll be how that works, kind of flip-flop between the 2.
Yeah, but for next week, it will be Feanor the Lochduin's Yule phase, so kind of like the little holiday phase between. So both the previous ones from the new year are up on YouTube. Go check out our YouTube. We upload all of our tabletop RPG stuff onto YouTube. So definitely go check that out. We are also going to be having a bunch of original series. None of them are up yet, but when they are, I will let you know ahead of time. But in the meantime, the best place you can go to check out like what's going on in our community is our Discord. So consider joining our Discord. We put out a weekly schedule with a active like the times that are set essentially are, what are they called?
They adjust to your time zone.
They adjust to your time zone. Yeah, so the times you see is the time that your computer's set at. So that's the time that we normally stream throughout the week. We have anywhere between 7 to 10 streams every single week. So we're bound to have one stream at the very least that you can enjoy with. Tomorrow, I will be continuing my Majora's Mask any percent run of The Legends of Majora's Mask. So that's been really good. We just finished up our all masks percent. The previous week, we finished up our 100% run of it. We will be starting a new game in the next week, but on Sunday and Tuesdays, Kyle plays Baldur's Gate at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I don't know how close you are to the end there, so maybe start thinking about a new game that you can...
I have no idea. I think I've got quite a bit left. Yeah, I'm in Act 3, which I guess is the biggest act of it, and so we're slowly making our way through. I already have another game on the docket for when I do finish it. We're going to be playing Ghosts of Tsushima, so that'll be fun when we get there, but I have no idea how long. It could be 2 months from now, it could be this summer. I have no idea. Baldur's Gate's a freaking huge game, so
Yep. So Kyle's going to be continuing playing Baldur's Gate on Sundays and Tuesdays American time. Again, check the schedule on the Discord so you know the exact times. But Cole's back on Wednesday with his Fire Emblem Three Houses speed run. So he's doing the Golden Deer route, and he's using only fast characters. So it's not like a time speed run. It's like only fast characters type of speed run. Next Thursday, I will be playing a brand new game. So it's a game I've been waiting since 2016, and it's finally come out. It's based off of a mobile game called Grand Blue Fantasy. It's a game called Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which is a really cool JRPG, which is coming out. So we'll be transitioning to that on my end, and I'll be playing that for a little bit. And then once I finish that, I'll be back to more of like the retro stuff. I'm considering like Banjo-Kazooie, some of those kinds of things as well. So yeah, so that's the schedule for the week ahead. We also have updated our website and our merch store. So officially, our merch store has moved away from Etsy and it has moved away from Streamlabs. We are officially, it's just on our website. So feel free to go to fantasyforgestudios.com and you can see all of the updated stuff. I've been really working hard on it now that I am a web designer. I've been working hard on it and updating it. It's been about 2 years since we've actually updated it. But hopefully it's like kind of that secondary hub that people can go to. And also if you want more information about Kyle's original game, Everlast, which we're playing tonight, that is the best place to go to see that. Also consider donating to the Patreon. We're hoping by the end of this year we can start getting it out there, or at least the crowdfunding part of it, if not next year, but we're really close to getting it out there. So
let's go.
It's gonna be really sick. It's gonna be really sick. But yeah, our website's up and running. It still needs a couple edits here and there, but yeah, we're gonna be using that a lot more from here on out. And last but not least, of course, we have our amazing sponsor, DaiSNACKi. So Japanese sweets and luxury treats company, small family business centered in Tokyo, Japan. Free international shipping worldwide. And yeah, they're pretty cool. They have a bunch of different kinds of boxes. They have their omakase box. There's a couple different levels of that. But they also have their kawaii boxes, which are like more character themed snacks and goodies. And they have a bunch of different themed ones, including Disney, Sanrio. For Fantasy Forge specifically, they have a Nintendo box, they have a Pokemon box, and each of those come with a unique item from that specific store in Tokyo, Japan. But it's really good. It's worth the money. It's definitely worth the money. I've gotten a few of their boxes, and oh my gosh, I mean, from living in Japan for 5 years, it's literally the stuff that Japanese people eat. It's not just your average Kit Kats, Pocky, that kind of stuff. I can't speak more highly of it. If you want a truly authentic Japanese snack experience, DaiSNACKi is the place to go. And be sure to mention Fantasy Forge sent you on the checkout page. It helps us out. That's how they know that we sent you. So make sure that say like Forge sent me or something like that. And that helps us out a lot. And yeah. And then make sure to mention your Twitch username as well. That gets back to us so that we can enter you into a raffle when we do eventually give away one of those boxes. So for free on the channel. So aside from that, I don't think anything else. Do you have anything? Anyone? Kyle? Anyone?
That is
Good?
very immersive. You've covered everything. So
okay, yeah, it was a lot of talking. All right. Sorry.
But thank you so much, everybody, for just sticking around. You enjoy the rest of your days wherever you are. Sleep well. Have a good one. Definitely, we look forward to seeing you again for Everlast on the 16th. But until then, may Lamia guide you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.